Disc golf tournaments are about playing disc golf, right? Well, not quite for the Disc Golf Pro Tour. They are trying to implement more things to engage a wider audience, and some of those things are what we're going to be talking about on today's episode. What we think about them and some of the other ideas we have. So let's get into it.
3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to this episode of HyzerCast. I'm Dave Oster here with Joanna and Lou. How's it going, you two?
Hey, it's good.
Awesome. Doing great.
Great to hear. So we are talking about the new things that the Disc Golf Pro Tour is doing outside of the actual playing of disc golf. So they've always had the player meet and greets, disc signings, things like that. But they are starting to do a couple new things that we're going to talk about in this episode, and then maybe some things that we think that they could do to improve the spectator experience. So we're going to get it started with the more recent announcement that the Pro Tour is now going to be incorporating a concert series by Corey Wong in some upcoming tournaments. So, Lou, you have some details on that. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, so the Disc Golf Pro Tour is in its, I forget what season. I mean, we're pushing the 8th, 9th, or 10th season here. So finally, the Pro Tour is trying to make more of a, an audience-friendly gathering with concert venue and more food vendors and so on and so forth. So it's cool to see them now have an artist, Corey Wong, who is Grammy nominated, and he is actually the head, manager of this section of the tour. So it's cool. Yeah, the Pro Tour now has a concert series, so that adds so much value to being there, getting a ticket to go see your favorite players shred on a really difficult course, and then that night there's a nice concert for you. So I think it's great. I think they should have and could have pulled it off a little earlier, but nonetheless they're doing it now, so that's just, we're going to benefit from that now.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to see how that's going to grow. So
yeah, and we see the Pro Tour, they like to incorporate things slowly, one step at a time, methodically, and I think this is just that happening again, and I think it's a great thing that they're doing. Joanna, how do you think that this is going to go? What are your feelings on this for spectators and adding some value to like the tickets and things that they're going to be getting at an event?
I love it. I think it's awesome. I love incorporating music into events. I think everyone loves live music. I mean, give me somebody who doesn't.
Right.
Like, it's amazing, and there's always a great vibe to it, especially when the weather's nice in the summer. Like, you just want to be there. And I love that they are thinking creatively like that and saying, okay, what else can we offer for patrons that come for the day? Like, how can we make this a full day experience? And I think a lot about other events, and one that came to mind was actually the Houston Rodeo. I lived in Houston for a couple of years, and when you would buy a ticket to go to the rodeo, you can go in. There are rides outside for kids. There's tons of food. You can go in, you can see the livestock show. Then, of course, you go into the rodeo for your ticket, and you see all of those events, like all the different rodeo events that there are. And then after that, there's a concert. And that is such an awesome experience. And I think it's a similar vibe of like, okay, what can we create from the beginning of walking in the gates? Okay, food trucks, fun things for kids to do. Like I saw on coverage for them, there was like the kids center of like, playing with like a smaller basket. I think that's great. Like, what are areas that we can really say, bring the whole family, come and watch, let's spectate. Okay, and then after that main event, which was watching the round, here's even more entertainment. So it can only go up from there.
Absolutely, because we see, a lot of players are playing early in the morning, but then spectators grow throughout the day to see the lead card. But giving them something to do throughout the day is just going to draw in more attention, gain more popularity to the players that may be going in the earlier rounds. And then, of course, then they're there when everybody wants to be there. So
for me too, I think is great. Like, hopefully, if this expands and they can do this on a more regular basis, they can actually really start featuring artists from the cities that they're in, and have like an application process, an audition process, and like how can you even more lift up that local community that you're in. I would love seeing that personally.
Yeah, I think that having somebody as a director, for this, part of the Pro Tour now, it would give somebody that task to, hey, look into the, this
Yeah.
is the path that we go. Let's go find out where we can have a little concert in really popular cities, or a place. They just were in Music City. I've never played the Music City Open, but I gotta imagine there's some sort of music associated with going there. That'd be a great spot for a concert venue.
There better be. There better
Yeah.
be concerts every
Right.
moment of every day because you are just that place is saturated with unbelievable
Absolutely.
musicians.
Absolutely. So I look at it like, Dave, you were saying that there's tea times throughout the day. So giving the patron something more to do is the goal here, right? And
Right.
I think, last time I've been to a nice summer concert, you're walking in the gates at 12, and there's music all day up until 10 o'clock at night. I could see something like that going on, where there are enough artists who want to follow the Pro Tour just to get their music out, or local that want to come for the event for the day, and you could have dozens of artists hit a stage. It being something small now is really cool, but seeing it like a full-fledged, like you said, something with, like, I don't know, slip and slides, bull rides, mechanical bull rides, just the whole thing,
Yeah.
a full day where you're not going to get bored. You're going to feel like you don't want to leave. You just can't get enough. So music keeps the body awake. It keeps the rhythm of, partying going. So it's a smart move. It's a vital piece, I think.
Yeah, I think they're going to walk this fine line of bringing fun to the day, but also keeping the legitimacy and seriousness of the sport as we want it to grow and maybe, be on primetime TV one day. It's like, okay, at a PGA Tour stop, like, is it an outdoor festival all day? Is it not? Like, can this be disc golf? Is this our cool thing? Because our sport is so in nature and, like, in the woods or in the open. Like, can that be our vibe moving forward? Like, I think we're at a really cool spot that it's not yet determined what we are in the space, other than obviously our sport, like the game itself. That is determined. Right. But who we are socially in this world of sports, we don't know yet.
Right. And I think you bring up a good point about a fine line, because one of the things that, it could go too far in the point where on hole 18, someone's got a putt for the win live on the Disc Golf Network or whatever. You don't want to see kids bouncing at a bouncy castle behind the putter, right? So the logistics of that, you got to find out what's going to work on the courses. But absolutely, I think this is going in a good direction. Lou, you brought up the idea of getting local talent. Do you think that could steer where the Pro Tour actually goes? Like Music City obviously is very known for its music, and they've changed up the schedule year to year. How do you feel that incorporating this music into the events could potentially determine where the stops are year to year?
Well, you got to listen to the voice of the players. I think the Disc Golf Pro Tour is going to do their best job with something like that. So I think you're going to have to go with the season. The seasons are the thing that are controlling the flow of the tour right now. So, but local talent at any given point in time, as the sport is indefinitely growing, it's it's going to be an opportunity there, and people are going to hear about it. And hopefully, it just keeps snowballing into something a little bit more bigger and grander. I'm always about seeing where it goes. I'd like to see fireworks at the end of our world championships.
That'd be awesome.
Why not? And yeah, just more. I think the appropriate things. No bouncy castles or slip and slides down hole 2 and
Right.
Stuff like that. But I think the musicians being involved, local artists. I don't know. It's everything is from an opportunistic standpoint, where someone who is like a freelance musician, they might want to cling to the sport if there's an opportunity. Freelance photographer, they might want to get into the sport of disc golf, HyzerMedia, and like disc golf has a spot for anybody, and if they make more avenues for people to hop on board with something that's bigger than what we've known it to be, welcome aboard. Come on in. It should be with open arms, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
can't wait.
Dave,
Can't wait.
Ooh, Dave, you asked if you said it would affect where they go, like locations based on talent. Based on talent, no. The Pro Tour needs to make the decisions based on the courses, done and done. Nothing else. But what I do think they need to think about is the space for people, the space for parking, the space for spectators, but not the ancillary events that go along with the play. The play is always number one. But yeah, I mean, they've talked about this a lot too, like looking at wooded courses. Okay, how are we funneling spectators? Is there an easy way to get them there? Is there nice cut paths through holes that's not blocking other people? And I went and spectated the match play, and I think I had a VIP ticket, and I heard people mentioning the difference between VIP and regular tickets. I think that really needs to be defined more for the Pro Tour, and maybe this year they do have better ideas of what a VIP experience and a regular general admission experience looks like, but defining those earlier and more clearly, including where you get to see play from throughout the day, is going to help move these days along in a more simple and straightforward way for everyone, like for
Right.
where spectators go, for where people with the quiet signs go. It's still fresh, like who's holding the line, who's doing this, how can we move people around, like that can always be ironed out.
Right.
And I think the more they do it and the more they expand, the more those like very I don't want to say mundane things, like that's even more important, that they
Right.
need to be on lock all the time
Yeah.
to make sure that everyone has a good experience. Because I remember thinking, this is a VIP experience?
Right.
Or, oh, it's just this area? Oh, it's just that? Like, let's define that more. And could a VIP ticket also give you a closer spot to the concert?
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Like, what kind of access can that bring you? So I think there's a lot they can do with what they've already created, but just turn it up a notch.
So, like, yeah, because disc golf, it's always been so accessible to just stand 15 feet from somebody before they throw. Now there's roped areas, like you're saying. There's all these
Yeah.
things. So, yeah, the experience, if they're going to be charging you for it, let's break it down. Is, Maple Hill, I know when they go through there for the MVP Open now every year, they sell different level tickets where you can only be at certain holes by the greens or by the tees, and then you could get a VIP ticket, and I can only imagine that means that they're taking so many people who can follow the card the whole round. But
Right.
even that excludes like certain holes, because hole 15, you can't go stand behind 4 players and their scorekeeper over on hole 15. So nonetheless, you're right. Defining some of those other things could be more beneficial. And
Right. And it's great if each course looks different, because it kind of should be, because we shouldn't be playing the same course all the time. Like,
and
but that
to go-
adds to the vibe of each stop and what
Right.
makes them special.
The stop has to be the stop. I didn't really quite answer that either. The stop has to be the stop based off of the courses, the time of the year, and I think what I ended up focusing on was saying, like, if artists see an opportunity, they're going to come with the tour no matter where it goes.
Right.
In my opinion, and I think that's what you were saying too. I just never officially answered it. I just kept
It's all right.
talking.
We got around to it.
Yeah.
So we
I was like, oh,
definitely.
yeah, I was supposed to make a point.
Yeah, we got there eventually. So we definitely see, I think as the sport grows and there's more things that the Pro Tour has to offer, the lines to separate regular passes and VIP passes, like you were saying, Joanna, just will be defined more easily.
VIP, Joanna. Beer tent, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Beer garden.
Tent, beer garden.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm all about the foods. I want the buffet. I want the buffet.
You want a buffet?
Yes, feed me.
Definitely,
I want
definitely food.
wings. I want wings and drinks and stuff. Yeah, the alcohol, I could see how that's not like a free one, like to give away. That'd be an expensive ticket.
Yeah.
I think that's what it'll be. Probably like, or maybe the VIP pass has more, but the regular one, you get in, get access to main things, but then there's still things you can pay for.
Let's do our segment now before we move on. What would you be willing to pay for the VIP ticket experience? If you could have any experience, what would it be?
I got to say real quick, your $500 a month people did not like for the
I don't care.
Monthly.
Listen, I don't even have the $500 to spend on it. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be shocked if that was $500.
No, I know.
For
I think
what
we just
were
got to
saying was gonna be.
recalibrate to our audiences, maybe or not. I just want to let you know. I didn't know
I
if you
just
knew.
said I can't afford it. This was like what I would want in theory would probably cost a lot of money, and if I had the money, I would pay for it. So.
All right, so let's answer the two questions.
A VIP ticket is
With
what
what?
would you be willing to pay for a VIP ticket with access? What would you be hoping to get out of that deal? I would say at a major event, I would say $150 for the weekend if it included parking, food and beverage, upfront concert, could follow the card.
That's a lot.
That is a lot of perks.
That
I
is
mean,
right.
it is VIP. I think for that, maybe the price is a little bit low. When he first said 150, I'm like, all right, that's a little high. But with all
but
of that,
3-day
it makes
event.
sense. 3-day. Yeah, I could get it. I
And
think
a concert.
it might be limited to the space on the course, right? How many of those could you actually let
You
follow
could
any card you want
You
or
could
be
prob- you-
behind
you
or
could-
whatever?
You could probably sell 50 of those to 100 of those and limit, where it bottlenecks at a spot. You just make a detour for them so they can only see from a certain or a different angle, but you would have the upfront row, for like a potential holy shot.
True.
And there's going to be a premium to pay for the next holy shot if you want to stand there. It's not going to be for free.
To be able to high five James Conrad as he's running down the fairway.
Or miss the high five because James is just staring at the basket. Do you remember that? The guy chased him down the whole time trying to get him. Watch the video again. There is a guy chasing James Conrad like this. Do you remember me asking him at dinner, Dave? I was like, did you ever
I
find
do remember
guy?
that. That's right.
So I asked James if he ever found the guy that was trying to high five him. I think he said no, but dude was just running him down, just like yeah, and James is just running past him like yeah.
Oh my
great.
gosh. Hey listeners, just so you know, Lou does this thing where he'll just name drop a touring pro, like
Who,
by his
Greg?
first name, like James. Oh, yeah, I asked James at dinner. And Dave and I will have to guess like Conrad? Like James Conrad? So that was one of those. So
Yeah,
there you
he
go,
loves
Lou.
doing that. Name dropping, pro tour, traveling tour professionals by name. It's great.
And we get to guess. But okay,
Yeah.
150 for the whole weekend. Ooh, do you think if like 150, well, whatever the price is, it's a deal if you get 3 days and then it goes up day by day? It wouldn't be like $50 a day. It'd be like 75 for or like 80 for Saturday and 90 for Sunday because it's the final day, like something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think they would have to do that, but okay. You're really including a lot of perks in that. So you want VIP access to the play as well as food and drink? Like, you should just say, what, lunch? And then dinner is like BYOD, buy your own dinner at the food trucks. And then VIP access to the concert, too? Oh, boy.
That's a lot. I mean, depending on who it is, $150 could be just a concert.
Gosh, this concert ticket. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
Right.
I mean, I think
I
that's
would
fair.
say
They gotta
like
start
220.
somewhere.
Yeah. Gotta start somewhere.
Right.
We're talking probably burgers and hot dogs. I don't know.
Yeah.
I overshot.
Well, you went buffet. So I was like,
I overshot the
dude's
Golden
asking for
Corral.
lobster. He's looking for lobster out here, people. Lobster and disc golf.
$1,000.
$1,000 a month, every tour. Yep, you're good.
Get picked up by a Tesla by our buddy Elon.
That's right.
Oh, your old pal Elon.
Yeah. Guys, I just had the worst cramp in my leg. Oh my god.
Oh, somebody's not conditioning for disc golf.
Listen, I'm gonna watch this. I am very
Drink more
hydrated.
water, sleep more,
Or you're just an old man.
stretch.
Just kidding.
That could just be that. Oh my god, it's terrible. I know the moment I bend my leg, it's gonna happen again.
So yeah, that's I think that the price right around there for VIP pass. Obviously, general admission would be a little bit lower. Maybe a daily pass, 20, 30, 50 if it includes some kind of additional perk other than just watching, the round, following the cards. But I have another question for the both of you. How long, with these concerts happening at all these events, how long until we see James Conrad, the man, the myth, the legend, on stage doing his full 20-foot run-up, then crowd surfing, diving into the crowd, and doing it all the way to the back? How long until that happens? I can't wait to see it.
I don't know. That's a big dude.
Yeah, but that's
need
the thing. He
you
can
need
get
a
far with
packed-
all of that.
And to
That
think you could pay
momentum.
for a VIP pass and have
We'll
that
catch 'em.
experience.
To get
Holding James Conrad.
to catch a knee to the side of the temple as James throws himself up. That's a big dude. I know he looks skinny, but he is a big dude.
Oh,
is
he's
tall.
very tall. Yeah.
He's got to be every bit of 200 pounds.
Yeah. All right,
At
so
least.
so maybe not that, but that
I
kind of
got
brings
it.
us brings us into the transition of the kind of second part we're talking about. So the Pro Tour is doing all of these things to try to enhance the events for the spectators. Do we have any ideas of what we could, if we could talk to Jeff Spring about what he should be doing, what we think he should be doing to improve spectator experience? Joanna, let's start with you. Do you have any ideas, or you want me to throw it to Lou first?
No, that's fine. I mean, I think I kind of touched on it when I was discussing the experience, like really defining those roles, really thinking about the day from start to finish, like the moment you arrive at the location, it's parking. What is the parking situation? Literally every moment of the day. Where are the bathrooms? I know we love talking about bathrooms on this podcast, but if people are, but if people are spectating, where are the bathrooms? Like, is that comfortable for them? Also, is that comfortable for the players? Like, they need those things too. The flow of the day. Where are things located? Like, you don't want the bouncy castle behind hole 18, like stuff like that. Really, to lay out the comfortability of everybody working there and knowing their roles and helping people get around, because that's a big headache. Like, it's a big heavy lift of everyone to really pull off such a great event. So I think really those things. I think something that is maybe not like spectator experience, but I'm thinking about Disc Golf Network. Like, I would love to hear the commentators on site. I really don't know if I love that they're in a totally different city, like watching a feed, commenting on it, and then we're getting the mixed feed with their delayed reaction. Like, when they say, how's the temperature there? I want them to be like, whoa, it is a scorcher today.
Right.
Like, when we got to the course, it was hot. Like, and then have them perch somewhere in a booth, but like experiencing it, because I think that's the best way you can communicate that. And so the more you can keep the whole disc golf world in this one experience, the better, and whatever that form it takes. So I know I kind of like drifted on your
No, it's all right.
question,
It's
but I think
recommendations
that's
to the Pro
important
Tour.
to add. Yeah, to like really make this even for the people who pay the subscription and can only watch from home because they're not there, like make them feel like they're there.
Yeah. Lou, what do you think?
So I would have to think about it like, or I'm going to go with like this. All right, so here we go. Ready? My take. Jeff Springs. Players get player packs. I think spectators should get spectator packs. When you get there, there should be something in there with a scan code.
Foam finger.
No, seriously. A bottle of water is nice suggestion. It's a very friendly thing is to offer somebody a drink. So very inexpensive. And maybe on the water, or if you're trying to cut down on things, you don't want to hand out a bag. But a QR code where you can get a schedule, a map. You can know where bathrooms are and all these things. So these couple pieces of information can be very vital to give to spectators. And also in that, I think the final thing would be like a spectator's etiquette with, picking up your trash, being responsible for spectating and moving out of the way of players, some awareness, and any other like what would be almost considered a players meeting type information out to the spectators at every event. It would be, I think, very beneficial. And you set up a line of communication to add on very easily to your events. You have people going to see a schedule, so you know when bands are playing, you know when food is being served, you know when they're doing a pro panel, you know everything. A spectator pack.
Yeah, I think that's great. Like you said, a little bit of a spectator players meeting type thing, because I think that'll also help like grow the professionalism of the sport. People kind of hate when we compare it to golf, but it is similar to golf in some ways, where once we get bigger, the more spectators that are there, there's going to be a need for everybody to learn how to be a spectator at a disc golf event, because it's going to be different. It's going to be different than golf. It's going to be different than going to a football game, a soccer game, basketball game. So you're right, and all those other things, QR code, nice little pack in there. I think that's a great idea.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially when you think about noise, too. Like, tell them why it's important maybe to be quiet for the shot, or thinking of, hey, when you're thinking of bringing people to this day, can they stay quiet in moments they need to be quiet? Or, like, kids, for example.
Volumes,
like,
phone volumes.
can
You're
they,
at the movies.
Yeah, things like
type
that.
stuff.
Like, can we teach them to be quiet early on and be like, okay, we stay quiet now because he's thinking, or he or she is thinking about their next shot. Like, this is why we do this. Like, giving the why to people is super important. I also think it's interesting that people still bring their dogs. Like, I know we're outside, but are we going to move away from that?
We've seen that before come into play. Straight,
Just
right?
like-
Do you remember that? That was Paul Macbeth, right?
I don't know.
That was Paul Macbeth. There's video of that. There was a gentleman, and I'm not going to remember the tournament, but brought his dog. Dog barked in Paul Macbeth's putt, and clearly it was the worst possible timing.
Oh,
It
boy.
wasn't like right before. It wasn't like right after. No, it was like at the worst
Woof.
crucial point of no. Right before that. Right before that.
Woof.
It was, yeah.
It looked like
that's
this,
the
right?
bad spot.
Right here, jumping in
Oh,
front
there
of the
it
putt.
is. The dog.
Right.
This
The
is a
dog
picture of
straight
what that scene
attacked-
was.
Straight attacked Paul Macbeth's disc.
We didn't plan this, by the way. I just wore this shirt.
But yeah, so this happened. So I think it's, yeah, I guess it's a local decision, maybe by the course or whatever, but I think it's no good could really come from it. Unless they're one of those retrieving dogs that
Yeah,
are going to
that's
get
true.
discs out of the water, then they tend to be pretty quiet and desensitized to the flight of the Frisbee.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be really curious to see what our listeners think. Listeners, watchers, our public peeps. What do you guys think? Because, I mean, I think they're going in a cool direction. Now, I'm curious what more there could be. Or, because really the world's their oyster, right? Like, we
Right.
can get as creative as we want.
Yeah, they have a plan, and there's things that we're probably talking about that they already have figured out. I'll give them the credit that they're just not
Yeah.
guessing what to do out there. That's not how you get to where they are right now. So, yeah, hats off to them, and I'm excited because what better way to now go see your event or be part of that event when it comes through? There's more of a reason. Like, I'm still going to subscribe and watch, and I'm still going to probably want to go and spectate, if not play. So,
Totally.
Yeah.
Now, when is the next tour going to pop up? Not the Disc Golf Pro Tour, like a competing company that's going to come out and, like, create, I don't know, like the next level stuff that, like, we are not even thinking about for disc golf. And then you
The
see
Nike
two tours
tour.
running. Yeah, like something. Oh, baby.
That'd
Here
be
we
crazy. That
go.
would be crazy.
It's going to happen. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think
I'm sure.
that's that weird of a thing.
well, most manufacturers have like their thing set up where they offer the sponsorships to get out. So they have, like the DDO, and then you have countless events across the country all year long sponsored by Dynamic Discs. So those things, like having the thread of that is already happening. So any one of those could legit try to start up. Any manufacturer could do it in disc golf now.
Right.
It could be Infinite if they wanted to. It could be Birdie if they wanted to. Just create a tour series, invest in it, and if you build it, he will come. And
We've seen it.
so
Sure have.
Absolutely. So, all these things that we're talking about, it's all just for the growth of the sport, and it just makes sense that the Pro Tour, like you said, Lou, probably already thinking about this. But that will be the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you, listeners and watchers. Yep, Lou's doing it right there. Go down below, click that red
gotta
button.
click. Got to
Or
click.
subscribe to us on whatever audio platform that you are listening to. Other than that, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you in the next hole.